Welcome to the Business, Finance, and Comedy Show. I am a guy surrounded by money. Today I'm interviewing Jaume Ros, who is a SEO and has a YouTube channel. What got you into SEO?
Yeah, so I think the first thing that got me into SEO was just wanting to make money online, I guess. kind of like most people. I was doing a bit of drop shipping early on, and then just got tired of paying for Facebook ads. Actually, my store got to a point where the money that I was putting in every month um, just wasn't probably it wasn't the best Facebook ad store and a drop shipping store. And then just as a result, just as most people do, how do you make money online? And one of the first things that came up was SEO. So just got into SEO, started learning about SEO, started learning about building PBNs, started learning about all that, and then eventually just dove right in.
Many people claim they can't reveal their websites because of negative SEO, but you did a public case study. Did you encounter any negative SEO which affected the website at all?
No, luckily I didn't. To be fair, I think I probably wasn't doing the case study for long enough for people to negative SEO. I think negative SEO comes when the website is wildly successful and they see exactly how you've done it, and then they just copy exactly what you're doing. But I think my website just probably wasn't at that point yet. It was still really early on. But yeah, luckily no. But I've heard of a lot of people get negative SEO. Yeah, for sure.
It was interesting to me that you purchased PR links, but didn't end up being impressed with the links. Did you ever find a better PR link provider that you were happy with?
Yeah, so I did have to actually clarify that whole thing, because it turns out that when I made that video where I was talking about Magic PR, I uh, I I basically I didn't talk super positively about them, but then it turns out that there were like a couple hidden files that they didn't send to me that were reporting better placements, like Yahoo Finance and a few other big ones. But yeah, to me, the whole impact of these type of press releases aren't like, unless you have something really really good to talk about, unless you have a really great story that you could share, then sure, maybe go for it. But these just like average press releases, I haven't seen a crazy amount of success with. So no, I haven't found any other platforms that do anything better.
How do you optimize content for SEO? Do you use a tool?
Yeah, so right now, and I'm actually about to record a video in a couple hours, but right now the content that I'm optimizing, I'm kind of just letting AI do it. That's kind of the test that I'm running on my on the website for my tool for clicks.so. So all the content there is going to be just AI, and AI is getting really good at optimizing and structuring content. But apart from that, when I do it manually, I just follow like the basics, right? I want to have one H1. I want to have the keyword in the title in the H1, some point at the start of the page, and then meta description if possible. Where else? Yeah, probably then just like keyword variations in any subheadings throughout the page.
Are there niches that you prefer doing SEO for and why?
The ones that I prefer doing, I guess the ones that aren't as competitive. Those are the main ones, because the ones that are super competitive are just very hard to get into. And unless you have a lot of purchasing power to just get a lot of links, not my cup of tea. Also depends on the clients. I still do a decent amount of client work, so those niches kind of depend, right? That just depends on the client. But personal niches that I'm targeting, I'm just still going for slightly less competitive niches than most people, I guess.
You're creating a tool. What has been the most challenging part of creating a tool?
Honestly, all of it, all of it. Yeah, so tool that I'm building is called clicks.so, and then the main thing was that I just saw a lot of people, they kept asking like if there was an Ahrefs or SEMrush tool that was um, basically like a tool like Ahrefs or SEMrush that wasn't as expensive, right? And obviously There's a reason that those tools are that expensive. They have an insane amount of data. They have an insane amount of granularity with their data, right? So very in-depth stuff, and a lot of different like sub tools within the tool. I think SEMrush has like 15 or 20 tools within SEMrush. Ahrefs now is also quite bloated. They've added in a bunch of like extra Content Explorer trends. I don't even know. I haven't used Ahrefs in a while, but yeah. So a lot of that was coming in, and then just decided to build something like that, but a bit more affordable. And the hardest thing is just working with all that data, right? It's a lot of data. Obviously, I don't have the data that Ahrefs and SEMrush has, but still, it's a lot of data, and organizing everything and making sure that the UX is nice, because that's, I think, one of the advantages of being a new player, right? You can play with the UX, where a lot of SEO tools nowadays, it's kind of hard to understand. Once you get the hang of it, Ahrefs is quite easy to use, but as a beginner, you're absolutely lost on Ahrefs, right? There's so many different variables, numbers, metrics, kind of everywhere. And same thing goes for SEMrush. So yeah, getting the UX right, playing with the right data, I think that's been the hardest thing.
What kind of investment did creating your tool require?
So luckily, because I'm building it myself, like I literally just on my own. I also have a slight background in programming, which I've been able to use quite a lot. The investment hasn't been that high. Maybe I've spent a couple of grand on like some higher level devs helping me figure out some stuff structurally for the app and stuff. But apart from that, the actual, I don't want to talk about specifically how I'm getting the data, where I'm getting the data from, but basically I'm buying data off a third-party provider, right? And as a result, that's basically like a cost that goes over to the user, right? So when the user comes in and pays for a membership or pays for that data, we don't know exactly what the final pricing plan is going to look like. And by we, I mean me. Then once they have that data done, once they pay for that membership, then they basically pay for that data. I actually end up not paying for any of that. So the cost hasn't been too high as of right now. Servers and all that, there's a lot of affordable options nowadays. So nothing too crazy. Maybe a couple of grand so far, which is pretty chill, I'd say.
SEO tools are pretty saturated. How do you plan on marketing yours?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think the main way I want to do it is I would just want to be the affordable option, right? People are going to talk about Ahrefs and SEMrush forever. I don't think they're going away anytime soon unless SEO just absolutely dies, which I personally don't think it will. But the main thing I want to do is I want people to say, oh, okay, there's Ahrefs, there's SEMrush. So if you're someone who's really into SEO, you're an advanced person, you're someone who basically lives off doing some type of SEO, you're going to want those tools, right? But if you want something more affordable, if you're a small business owner, if you're starting out, if you're just interested in knowing more or less the trends of your keyword research or how your website's growing or your backlinks, or you want to do a site audit maybe once a week, then that's where you would go, right? You'd go to clicks. And so I want to be that type of tool, and that's like the market segment that I want to target. And so how I'm going to market it, first of all, just through my audience. That's kind of one of the main reasons that I've been building an audience for a while. I didn't really have clicks in mind, right? It was more just like I wanted to build something eventually for the audience, right? Because they basically end up telling you what they want, what problems they have, and also just through client work as well. This is one of the things that has come up, and so yeah, just market it as like the affordable thing. So start off with my channel, see how far I can go with that. Do affiliates. I think there aren't really that many good affiliate programs right now inside of the like pure SEO tool space. The ones that really work, the Surfer SEO one, which I think is closed right now. I got in early, and that one, it still pays me like a decent amount of money. And I've made a few videos on Surfer, and so that was a great incentive to talk about Surfer early on. And I'm sure that's done super well for them, and it's done super well for me. So probably a really solid affiliate, like lifetime commission for Surfer, from Surfer or something along the lines. And yeah, probably something like that. Start off with that. It doesn't have to be like a $100 million tool like SEMrush and Ahrefs. I just want to have a really solid tool for a set of customers. and then just keep on growing it, keep on improving it.
Regarding your channel, do you have a formula for thumbnails to ensure people click on them, like things you include, etc.?
Yeah, so quick formula that I try and go after. And by the way, the thumbnails, I don't make them myself. I'm lucky enough that my younger brother, who's also on YouTube, youtube.com/Arnau-Ros, so ARNAU space my last name, ROS. He's on YouTube and he happens to be a designer. So he's quite good at setting things up in Figma and making these type of thumbnails. He's also been on YouTube for a year longer than I have. Again, it's my younger brother, which is extremely annoying, but we'll get past that. So the main things is, for a normal video, try and include my face, some type of like reaction, because that kind of gets like the human emotion out, I guess. People see me react like, oh, what's going on? Some type of main idea in some type of text, and then some type of visual that aligns with that text as well with the title. So for example, I'm about to launch a video probably tomorrow where I'm talking about how I got a featured snippet within 2 weeks with one of these AI writers. So the title is going to be featured snippet in 2 weeks with AI or something like that. Then it's going to be my face. There's going to be a small title that says early AI results, and then maybe like a featured snippet, some type of design elements representing a featured snippet. So that's kind of like the three main things. And thumbnails are extremely important. The better I get at making these thumbnails, or the better my brother gets at making these thumbnails, the more I realize how important they are. So yeah, super important.
Do you get many people trolling your comments?
Absolutely, man. Recently, it's been off the charts, man. I don't know. I've made a couple of videos where, yeah, it's been interesting. So I made a video a couple of weeks ago where I was talking about the best AI writer. So kind of like the prequel to this this next video that I'm posting today. And it turns out that I missed a couple of the other big ones. I don't know, maybe I hadn't seen all the Twitter threads talking about the best AI tools, or I hadn't looked up all the articles talking about these tools, and I missed like two of the big ones. And I just got absolutely roasted in the comments saying like, oh, you don't even know what you're talking about. You missed out on the most important ones. I don't know, so many different things. I also made another one where I talked about a case study recently, but I couldn't show the specific pages. I couldn't show the specific keywords. I couldn't show the content. I can't, right? Because it's a client that is allowing me to show the results, but obviously I can't show the actual results because otherwise someone would come in, they can copy it. They know, like if I'm telling someone how to do it and I show exactly how I'm doing it, it's too much, right? It's too much. And it's a client. At the end of the day, they pay me for my services, and it's like, I can't share those things, right? But regardless, people don't care. They don't care about that. They'd much rather leave a comment saying, there was some comment in that video that said, video with zero information, and then a thumbs down, and it had like 18 likes and like 6 different comments of people saying like, yeah, this is irrelevant. This is such a dumb video. Anyway, stuff like that. Just the usual stuff that I guess people get. Yeah.
What is the best part of doing YouTube?
I think the best part of doing YouTube is stuff like this, like getting to meet people like you, and a bunch of other people that I've met through YouTube. And it's interesting, like the opportunities that just naturally come through YouTube, right? People like see your face, they see that you talk about something and that you have like a little bit of expertise on it, and that automatically connects you to them in some way. I don't know. It's interesting. It's a really cool way of meeting similar people, I'd say. And yeah, just the opportunities from it, right? The one thing is that you never really know who's watching, right? Really early on, I got a client that ended up paying me like 5 figures a month. I think I was making like 12K a month off this client. It was a pretty big client from the US. And they reached out when I had less than 1,000 subscribers, right? So again, it's just, excuse me, it's all these opportunities that you really have no idea who's watching. You don't know who they are, why they're doing it. Getting Ahrefs to sponsor my channel super early on as well. It's just, these things just kind of happen naturally. And I think the main thing with YouTube is just consistency. I think that's the main thing. It's not so much the quality of your videos. It's not so much like the quality of your thumbnails. I think those things matter, but I think the main thing, like you can have 2 or 3 really great videos with phenomenal titles, phenomenal thumbnails and all that. But if you're not consistent, there's going to be a guy who makes 5 videos. They're a little bit worse quality. The thumbnails aren't as good. He's going to win because he's going to be there for longer. And at the end of the day, that's what wins inside of YouTube. It's just outlasting people, right? Which is kind of annoying because you are in this YouTube hamster wheel, but you do get paid for it quite well.
What is the worst part?
Yeah, the worst part is probably that hamster wheel that I just mentioned. Unfortunately, it is kind of a pain in the ass. Like you do have to be consistent, right? It's easy for me to tell you to be consistent, but then being actually consistent is a pain in the ass. Like currently, I am in I'm on a trip with my girlfriend at the beach, and here I am like planning my video all day because I need to get it out this week because it's a Thursday and I like to post on Fridays and so yeah, the consistency aspect of it is horrible. And at the end of the day, it's a massive grind. And for especially if you're in a tiny niche like SEO, the potential of your videos is quite limited. Like if you're doing something that's more lifestyle, the potential there is crazy. If you're doing something more related to gaming, much bigger niche. But SEO digital marketing, it is kind of dry, right? And the actual audience that is watching, maybe they don't want to binge all of your videos. Maybe they're just there for one thing. They just want to learn how to get a feature snippet, for example. And so, yeah, so it's a lot of hours. But I personally think that's probably the best investment that I've ever done with my money, my time, with absolutely everything.
Your website says that you were the head of SEO for a company. What kind of company and why did you leave?
Yeah, so I was head of SEO at an e-commerce in Barcelona, which is where I'm from, and the company was called Cameloon. So they were basically like a promotional merchandise type company. So if you need like a sticker with your logo on it, or a T-shirt or a hat with your logo on it, they were one of the top players in Europe for that specific thing. Now I got hired post-COVID when shit was already hitting the fan. Basically, to give you an idea of how these type of businesses work, they were doing super well pre-COVID because they were the main supplier for massive concerts and for basically any like networking events. And so when COVID happens, obviously a lot of those events get cut, and it's one of the easiest things to cut out as a company, right? As an expense for a company. You don't need the extra 1,000 sweaters for your employees if you're doing like cuts, or if you're trying to get rid of some of those miscellaneous expenses. And so I came in as kind of like someone who was supposed to save the company. And really early on, it was a lot of pressure. I was also quite young. I was 23 at the time. I ended up building a massive team of SEOs. We improved the traffic quite a bit, but the company was at a point already where, because of the economic issues, they were making decisions based on suppliers and manufacturing that were just completely out of my like responsibility and out of my like power. Where even though there was more traffic coming in and things were going great at the time, it didn't mean anything for the company because the decisions that were being made above me, I didn't see eye to eye with. And so after a year, I left, which was kind of tragic. And then a few months after that, the company actually shut down, which was actually good timing. So tragic story to talk about. But yeah, at the end of the day, we did some great work. The SEO improved greatly. I learned a lot of things there. But yeah, if you're at a team, if you're working for someone that is just making wrong decisions and you just don't see eye to eye, I think it's important to leave, and that's what I did.
Where can people follow you?
Yeah, honestly, on YouTube is probably best. So youtube.com, or if you just look up my name, Jaume space Ros, that's probably where where I'll be most active, probably for the next few years. Very bullish on YouTube, so I'll be there. And then from there, you can find all my links, my websites, and clicks.so if you're interested on affordable SEO data. I'm just finishing the site audit now. That's the last feature I got to work on, and then yeah, should be available.
I would like to thank Jaume for the interview. People watching can like, comment, share, subscribe and whatever else you do to videos if you're watching in the future. If you don't find notifications annoying, you can turn notifications on.